G'day guys, welcome to the 12-month boat review. Far out, we've had this thing for 12 months now. Well, to be exact, it's actually about 14 months since we've had the boat. And I wanted to wait. I've wanted to do a boat review for ages because in the past 14 months, I would have had at least 200 messages about this boat. I don't mind answering the questions at all, but it keeps you busy. So I've wanted to do a boat review for a long time. I just wanted to wait until I was fully confident in the boat, till I knew everything about the boat, and it just feels like mine and like part of me. And you know what it's like with a boat, like you just get so used to it, you know it inside out. And now I know that about this boat. I know how it acts in a following sea, in a head-on sea. I know what trim it likes. I know everything about it. So I can give you an honest review, because there is things I don't like. We have no affiliates with a boat company or anything like that, so I can show you exactly what's going on, alrighty? So let's start off. This is a 6.8 metre MMD, McDonald Marine design boat. It is not a Chinese boat. So I've seen on Facebook a couple of times that, oh, this is a Chinese built boat. It is not a Chinese built boat. I would never buy a Chinese built boat. It couldn't be any further away from a Chinese built boat. It is designed by an Australian naval architect called Andrew McDonald Smith. He's the architect for like most of the top name brand plate boats throughout Queensland and Australia. And then it's built by a private boat builder called Brad Hahn, so Hahn Marine, out at Ipswich. So it doesn't get much more local than that. Brad has done a friggin' awesome job with this boat. I bought it, I seen it on Facebook Marketplace one day. We got screwed over by another boat company. We lost a decent amount of money with them. Didn't know what I was gonna do. This popped up, went and had a look, talked to Brad. He's a stand-up guy. And by looking at it, I know that he did a good job. I've got all the photos, which I'll lay through here, about the build and how he went about it. There's a few things that this boat has that no other boat has. There's a few things it's missing that most boats probably should have. So let's run through it. Alrighty, 6.8 metre. It's built like a brick shithouse. There is so much aluminium in this boat. It rides like a old Haynes, actually. It's quiet. It cuts through the chop really, really well. It's a 21 degree constant dead rise, okay? So that's a 21 sharp degree dead rise with a big reverse chine, so it's nice and stable. The downside to that big dead rise is it chews a bit more fuel than what I'd like. So let's get started with the heart and soul of the boat, and that's the Yami. This bloody weapon of a thing right here, 300 Yami. So when I bought it, I had a 250 Suzuki. I'm a Yami man through and through. So I went to Marine Care Queensland. They did me a deal on the Suzuki, and then I bought the Yami for a bit extra. Now, this is a 300 horsepower V6 4.2 litre. It sounds friggin' amazing. It's like a V8 car nearly in a boat. It's still in primo condition. It's got about 140 hours on it now. Am I still happy with the Yamaha? Yes, I'm still happy with the Yamaha. What don't I like about the Yamaha? I'm not real happy with the fuel consumption, to be honest with you. All right, I was hoping that I would get about 1.2 kilometers per litre offshore. I get 1 to 1. No matter what the conditions or what I'm carrying, I seem to get 1 kilometre per litre. I was hoping for 1.2. That is a downside for me. I thought putting a bit bigger motor on a smaller boat, I might have got a little bit better fuel economy than that, but I don't. I've played with props. My other thing is sometimes it does cavitate if I'm turning sharp, but it's not bad enough to warrant pulling the whole motor off, trying to drop it a hole, because it can't go down another hole. It's as far as it will go down, and in order for it to go down again, I'd have to chop another inch out of the transom, repaint it, put the motor and everything back on. Everyone that I've spoke to has said that that trim plate, that cav plate right here, is at the height that it should be, all right, in accordance with the transom. It only cavitates when it's trimmed up a little bit and the conditions are a little bit rough and I'm turning at low speeds. It'll just cavitate a little bit for some reason. Turning at a higher speed, it's fine, but that is another thing I don't like, is it cavitates at low speed. But like I said, pretty bloody minimal. I've played with it. The 17-inch prop is now, I had a 15 on it. I didn't get the fuel economy I wanted. When we first tested this motor, I had a 15-inch prop on it. I didn't get the fuel economy that I wanted, so I swapped to a 17. I got more top end, 43 knots. I got better fuel economy, but in a following sea and in a straight line and that, it would cavitate sometimes, and it was offshore. It was a bit of a pig with the 17, so I whacked a 15 back on it. I lost that fuel economy, but it just rides so much better with that 15. In a following sea, it doesn't bog down between waves, which means when you're coming down a wave, then back up another one, usually sometimes if you have to play with your throttle and all that, it's not propped correctly. You should just be able to climb over that next wave without sitting there on and off your throttle all day. So if you're having that problem, have a look at your prop. So anyway, I'm running the 15 now and I'm happy with the 15, and that's done and dusted. So I love my Yami. I just don't like the fuel economy. But I got 550 litres in this bad boy, so I can still get a whole reef trip, a big reef trip, without having to carry any fuel. Next, we're going to move inside the boat, alrighty? Now let's talk about boat flooring. You've got so many choices with boat flooring. It's either carpet or 2-pack epoxy, like in the sailfishers, or the sea deck, and which is what I've got in here, or like there's carpet, there's all sorts of stuff you can put in. So I've got this stuff here, alrighty? What's good about this stuff is it's very customizable. So you can put your logo in there, you can put whatever photo you want, you can put fish measurers. It's really good and it makes the boat look awesome. It's nice and grippy. It's extremely comfortable underfoot. It's relatively hard wearing as long as you're not just going and throwing fish on the floor and throwing tools and, you know what I mean, pliers and whatnot. It will last a long time, or unless your cat scratches it. Hey, Sarah. That's the good part about this flooring. It dries quick and that's good, alrighty? The bad part about the flooring is the cost. So to do a boat like this, I think it was about $6,000 to do it in this flooring. And that's not including the roof and that and the transom, which I did afterwards with Boat Flooring Australia. But it's expensive and they claim that it's very easy to keep clean. But honestly, it's not. It's not easy to keep clean. If you're gonna buy this flooring, you've got to know that either you're going to have to get on your hands and knees and scrub it most times that you come home, or you're just going to have to be okay with the fact that it's not going to look beautiful and perfect forever. So if you're an extremely fussy person, maybe it's worth going a different grade of foam with this sort of flooring, because you can get harder foams. I had Diamond Deck on my last one, which was good, but then it didn't soak in any stains, but then fish guts always got caught in between the little treads. This stuff, the fish guts and everything hoses off nice, but it does stain. You know, you can see here, like there's all little stains and marks and stuff like that. This is after 12 months, and I'm pretty anal with this flooring. Like I get on my hands and knees and give it a good old scrub. And these are just all stains from fishing and stuff like that. All right, you can see here, there was some blood from the other day. It just is what it is. If you go tight ass and get stuff from China, it's gonna peel up on you and it's crap. You've got to spend the money. You've got to be okay that it's not gonna look perfect forever. Up along my decks here, it's not too bad. There's a few marks, but overall, I am pretty happy with the flooring, alrighty? So that's the good parts of the flooring, that's the negative parts of the flooring. Would I buy the flooring again? Yes, 100 times over. I'd have it in every single boat now. I would probably go a darker color, but this was already in the boat when I bought it. So I'd go a darker color because you can't see it as much. The teak looks awesome, but it's a little bit harder to keep clean. Yeah, that's the flooring. Would I buy it? Yes, 100%. Just make sure you're not gonna be too disheartened when it gets stained, because it will. All right, let's move on to the second thing, and that's the room in the boat. I've got like 2.3 meters down here on the floor, where I can fully lay down, put my hands out like this, touch the seat, and my feet still aren't touching the end. Bordeaux, my mate, who's 6'8", he can lay down here comfortably. I can lay another guy comfortably over the other side there. Even with my beautiful big esky that King Tide Marine and Fiberglass built me. They also built me this one, which is just easier for the smaller trips, but I can sleep one guy there, another one along there, and then 2 up in the cabin. So comfortably I can sleep 5 people in this boat, and it's a 6.8 meter boat. You got to remember, it's not even in the 7 meter range yet, all right? So it is a big 6.8. It's a true 6.8, and it's got plenty of room. Storage. The Plastech drawers are ridiculously expensive. Brad said it was $4,000 for that one, that one, that one, and that one. In these, I've just got cleaning, tackle storage, just cables, scuppers, and my little light. And over there I've got leader and stuff like that. I've got all my ropes, and then I've got some, what do you call it, bloody fenders. I've got a massive big area down here underneath this seat. Ugh. And I fit all my life jackets, I fit all my camping gear, I fit my cooker. I've got a grab bag, I've got everything down there. Side pockets for all your knickknacks. And that's on both sides, obviously. One thing I do love is my fridge compartment. This is awesome. So that's a 105 litre fridge in there. I've got venting down there, power's in there, and the fridge is totally out of the way. I love it. That's what allows this to have so much deck space, and it's just out of the way. It's great. Down here, Brad's done a little channel here, so when I wash the boat out, and it all drains down there, and there's a line that goes all the way to the back of the boat. The one thing I've got to be careful of is if scales and stuff go down, it does block up, and then it has leaked over and went down into the fridge compartment before. So I just have to make sure that every time I wash it, I just blast a bit of water down that and it's fine. And then I've got the bait board. The bait board, I love the look of it. Do I like it? Yes, it is good. So we got drawers that open up here, and I've got all my tackle storage in here, which is awesome. It is very handy, having it right at the front there. I've got another one down here, which I have sinkers and lures and all that sort of stuff. So it is extremely handy, and I reckon it looks awesome, this bait board. I've got my First Light fabrication products here. I've got my First Light line cutter right there. My pliers, knife and scissors here. I've got rod holders for trolling here and pointing out to the side. I've got 6 stainless rod holders along the back. I've got my bait board here, which someone, when I did this 12 months ago, I still remember you. You said it was a crap idea to put the Velcro because it wouldn't last. Well, that's 12 months on and the Velcro is still there. It's still on the bottom of my bait board. And I love the fact that I can pull that bait board off and just wash it and then put it down there, and I can drive 100 kilometers an hour on the highway and it won't blow out. So it's still good. The Velcro, 14 months on, primo. What I don't like about this bait board, when I'm driving, when I'm reversing, I cannot see that motor. The only reason I can see that motor is when I turn to the side and lean over all the way one way. That's the only way I can see how the motor's turned if people's lines are out the back and going towards it. I don't know where they are. That's one thing I do not like about this bait board. Another thing I do not like about this bait board is if I hose directly into it like this, I've got to be very careful when I wash it. The water goes inside and sits in there. I've got to pull all that tackle out and I've got to let it all dry out and stuff, which is a pain. But again, now I've learnt how to wash that back area. I don't just blast it with a hose. I just wash it carefully and it's okay. But that's one thing, you know, like if you're gonna do a bait board like that, you just gotta seal the inside. I could probably spend a bit more time sealing the inside, but I just learned how to wash it properly. And this brings me to another thing. What don't I like about this boat? I don't like the fact that it hasn't got a live bait tank. And I'm gonna find it hard to put a bait tank in without building a custom one and putting it on the transom. So I'll show you what ideas I've got. This obviously could have been turned into a live bait tank, a really big live bait tank instead of drawers. I don't know what I'd rather. So I'm thinking about making a little live bait tank and putting it on the back here and then having a hose that just runs out. But it's gonna look funny, I reckon. Or I can build one into here, which is probably what I'm gonna do. But in here's all my electrical. Brad's done a bloody awesome job with the electrical. This battery runs over into that area a little bit, which only gives me about from here along there as usable space. So I've got to decide if I can be bothered in doing all that work. At the moment, we're just using a little plastic bucket with an aerator and we put the liveys in that. And then once they're gone, I just put my bait in it, I bleed fish into it and stuff like that. So I'm getting by without it. I'd love a live bait tank. I will end up putting a live bait tank in, but yes, that's one thing that could have been bought into it. By the way, there's not enough room to put one in over there. There's all my zip wakes and all the electrical and stuff in there, so I can't really do that either. Kill tank. I don't have a kill tank, which I can deal without that. I can deal without the kill tank. I have been dealing without the kill tank. I bleed them into a bucket and it's been totally fine, actually. I'd rather have the 550 litres of fuel that I've got now underneath me because it's much more useful doing that than having the kill tank. So I've got 550 litres. I don't ever want to carry fuel. I've been nearly to the Swains in this boat already and I come back with fuel. So it's totally fine. No kill tank, no bait tank. I'm doing without it. But yeah, that's another thing I don't like about the boat. All right, let's talk about one of the bigger talking points when I revealed this boat to you guys 14 months ago, and that was all the stainless work around the boat, alrighty? So dissimilar metals, aluminium and stainless, you know what that means. There's usually corrosion, especially where your boat is painted. Where they meet, you can get all that bubbling underneath. Now I talked to Brad about this and he said he took every precaution to not do that, and I'll show you exactly what he's done. He whip blasted this thing beforehand, and which allows the primer to soak in better, and I don't get it all, but I listened and that's what it does. So he whip blasted it, and before he painted it, it's got really good paint on it. It was very well undercoated. He designed these pucks, alrighty, and built them up on top of here, and then the stainless is Tef-gelled and bolted, screwed into the top of the puck, not the actual hull. Now I can honestly say that every single one of these is like the day that I bought it. Here's the next one, and the next one, and the next one. You get the idea. There's no corrosion, alrighty? I copped it about, hey, you're gonna get heaps of corrosion, they're gonna be bubbling in no time, 6 months, and you're gonna have to change them. The whole boat, there is not one blob of corrosion on this whole boat. I look over it all the time. I look after it well. There is times where I come home and I don't wash it that great, but I do look after it pretty well. It's just prepped very well. It's lasting really good, and I'm stoked. I'm absolutely stoked with the paint and how everything is holding up. Even, you know, on the rails up the top here, they're just watermarks because you can't keep it perfect, but even up here, you know, there's just no bubbling, nothing at all. Those little aluminium pucks, again, were welded onto here. There's just no corrosion or anything around any of this stainless. And the handrails here, and also the bits that I've done, the stainless onto the alley, the rod holders onto the bait board, I used Tef-gel, I used Nylock washers on the inside, and just in here I used like 1 mil sort of like starboard, or this board, to separate the alley from the stainless, and it's working a treat. So that was one thing I was worried about, especially after reading the comments from 14 months ago, but mate, it's awesome. Like I said, there's not many boats that have the finish that, you know, this does, and the effort that Brad's gone into doing it. I love how he's done this roof with the exposed rafters. He's just done a really, really good job. Let's go up onto the roof. Ow! Psionics camera. I've put this on a while ago. So that's it there. It's a night vision camera. In fact, it's an infrared camera, I believe, and I am very, very happy with it. Although, if there is cloud cover or no moon, it gets very grainy. Okay, so you need a fairly clear night for it to work really, really well. The first night I took it out, it was awesome, and I was like mind blown. A few people said to me, wait till you try it with cloud cover and that, and they were right. It's not as good with cloud cover, but would I buy it? Yes, I would, okay? Because 8 out of 10 times, it's great. It has helped me out heaps, especially when I'm like following a boat at night time. Crab pots I spot from miles away, they are really good. You just got to remember, if there's no ambient light, they get very pixelated. My solar panels and electrical system has been fantastic. It charges up quick as. The flooring on the roof from Lucas at Boat Flooring Australia, it's still stuck there. That's only been on for about 8 months. All the stainless and everything else on the roof is just, it's perfect, you know what I mean? Even, you know, there's just no bubbling around any of that stuff, and I'm really stoked with that. My anchor winch, stress-free anchor winch. That's the brand, and so far it's faultless. It hasn't missed a beat. It's got plenty of power. It's got a free fall function, which works great. So far, I highly recommend the stress-free electric anchor that was already in here. I believe they're all good, the brands, but yeah, this one's been really, really good so far. My anchor is a Manson Supreme, 15 pound, I think, 7 kilo. And I wouldn't have any other anchor. A Manson Supreme, they're just really good. They hold amazingly. They're great. So the flooring up on the bow is still pretty much in perfect condition. You know, I pop for Spanish and all that sort of stuff up here. The kids play up here. It's holding up extremely well. So that's the roof and the front of the boat. Let's go down into the cabin. All right, the cabin, Simrad. Do I like the Simrad? Yes, I bloody do. I actually really like the Simrad, all right? I come from a Furuno 295 and a Garmin 8416, which was an epic combo. And I did a video last week or the week before on installing this new transducer. And since I've done that, mate, that TM265 is freaking amazing. If you want a good transducer for a setup like this, TM265 low high. Bloody awesome. Go back a week or two ago and watch that video on the install and how it ran, and me and my son went out and caught a couple of fish. But yeah, it's awesome. I can get a S5100 module too, which will like up it even again. But the Simrad has been really easy to use. It's got enough functions. The one thing I do think is it doesn't have like as good a relief shading in that as the Garmin. It's not as involved. Hopefully they do an upgrade soon, which brings it back up to, you know, where the Garmin is with that. But yeah, the Simrad so far, mate, I can't fault it. It's been awesome. Zip wakes. I don't know about these, hey. I'm still waiting to get a fella to come out to dial them into my boat, because you do have to get them dialed into your boat. Otherwise, they don't know how big it is, how long it is, all that sort of jazz. But if I'm cruising along in a glass out, sometimes I'll feel the boat just go boom and kick up and start just tracking to the right a little bit, and it's the zip wakes doing it. You know, when I'm running along and it's rough and all that, they're good, but I need to get Scotty out and just tune him in. I need him to tune in so it's a little bit more responsive and all that sort of stuff. So I can't really comment too much on the zip wakes because they haven't been working to their full potential. They're like probably like 80% at the moment. I'm just jury's still out on that one. The Yamaha CL5 gauge has been awesome. Auto bilge pump is great. Stereo's been all right. That's my stress-free anchor controls. Oh, the high drive. This fluid, this has been like leaking from the start. This has been a pain in the ass. It's, the guy at High Drive said to me, oh, it's because you've overfilled it, but it's still leaking and like the fluid's way down. I don't know what's going on. It keeps coming out the overflow, even though it's way down. So if you know what's going on there, leave it in the comments. I can't figure it out. It's a pain in my butt. Anyway, I'll get that fixed. I just tied a rag around it for now, and hopefully it just sorts itself out. Now, can you guys notice anything here with my window? It doesn't open. In summer, I won't lie, it's been bloody hot. When me and Axel were out the other day, it was hot. Me and Sez have been out in some stinking hot days, and you open the hatch at the front and you get a breeze through, but I got to sort something out there. It's about $3,000 and I just don't have that sort of money at the moment. I'd rather spend that on autopilot. Winter is primo. It's actually nice in here at winter. You don't need any windows open, but summer, made it through, but it was bloody hot. So once I get a bit of cash up, that's what I'll do, is I'll put sliding windows on each side. Now inside the cabin here, up at Hinchinbrook Trimming, they trimmed it all out. It's still as good as the day they did it about 10 or 11 months ago. There's plenty of room in here for 2 people. Like I said, there's heaps of storage. The cabin is the cabin. There's not too much to say about it really. Except a couple of weeks ago, I installed this bad boy, Road Chef. And they're awesome. You can do all sorts of stuff. Pizzas, roasts, party pies, whatever you can cook in a normal oven, you can cook in that. One of the best upgrades I've done to this boat, hands down, hand on my heart, is the seat bases. These things are from Salty Bliss, and these have made driving this boat an absolute pleasure. You would have seen the install video with them and met Andrew and Megan, and I've had these in the boat for probably 6 months now. I can't fault them. Like, they're Aussie built, they're ridiculously good quality, they're priced very well. They're actually priced cheaper than some brands, big brands that I won't name, but the quality is unmatched. They're fully marine anodized and they'll never corrode. They're ridiculous. They're crossing the bar when it's real choppy. I never stand up to drive anymore, put it that way. No matter how rough it is, I sit down and I just plow through it. The boat goes well, and these added on top are just awesome. So if you are looking for, like I've said, a really good quality Australian, fully Australian made seat base. It even says it just here, made in Australia. You can't go past the Salty Bliss seat bases, honestly. And have a go at this. So they match up perfectly with these. So these are the adjustable footrests. I'll show you how they work. So this button here, you just push this in. You can push that down to whatever depth you want, depending on how long your legs are. You can just push this in, adjust it wherever you like. Then when you're finished, all you do, flip that up, goes up to the desired height, and it's out of your way to jump out. So 100% one of the best upgrades I've done to the boat is those seat bases and the adjustable footrests. If you're spending $200,000 on a boat, why not drop a couple of extra grand and save you back? All right, the lighting. So these were already in here, and that gave me the idea. They're just steady lights, work lights. That gave me the idea to whack them up underneath here, the gunnel. And these will, they'll dim, They'll go brighter and dim. They'll change to whatever color. They'll change to the music if we want to get a little bit rowdy. And they're awesome. They're still working really well. There's 8 throughout the boat altogether, and they still work perfectly. Like I said in a couple of videos ago, this grating that Brad's put up underneath the gunnel has just allowed all the wiring so nice and neatly to be able to be laid along it. We've got our deck wash and our 40-litre fresh water tank, and the fresh water is a must-have in my opinion, just for showers, for washing the motor off on long drives. Just it's awesome. So 40 litres of water seems to be plenty. I haven't really ran out on a trip yet. I even get home back to the boat ramp and I'll give the boat a hose and I'll just make it 40 kilos lighter to tow home. Rightio, I reckon we're pretty much done inside the boat there. Let's go outside the boat. Like I said, my zip wakes, my new TM265, got my 3-in-1 transducer, and I've got these from BLR Components. All right, we're gonna move on to the trailer now. So these are called the boat buckles, and you can get them from Blair at BLR Components, and they are friggin' awesome. I did a reel on these and it got like 2 million views or something, and people were like, oh yeah, 2 weeks or 6 months or whatever, and they'll be done, they'll be rusted. Like, I've had these on for about 10 months now. You guys have seen when I've put them on if you watch the trailer build and everything. All I do is just hose the fresh hose in there. I just literally just go hose in that there, and that's it. I haven't sprayed them. They literally just pull out like that. They clip into my back of my boat here. I just grab underneath here with a buckle, tighten it up. It's tight. Then to release, all I do is push that thing up there. This will release and then retract up, and it's out of the way. So all you haters that were giving me shit said that would be flogged out in no time. Still perfect, just like the trailer. Big G-banger and big stubby and the big cam, and now the big Matty. Those bloody legends up at Samurai Boats, NQ mono hulls, these fellas right here, they build a trailer like no other. Have a go at it. You've all probably seen the trailer build. If not, it was done probably about 10 months ago. The Alco brake thing has been perfect. That again is from BLR Components. I've got a little area for these and I haven't lost them yet after that long. I did snap 2 pins out of this Atlantic bloody but Blair sent them down to me. We've got the Allen boat latch here, and that has been amazing. All you do is pull that to the side, and the boat actually catches in there. Then you drive the boat forward, it'll flick open. Then when you park it, you just close that, and as you drive the boat back on after fishing, it'll catch into that, and it's done, all right? It's been amazing. Just the other day fishing with my son, you just drive it up, click, it's done, we both just jump out. It's that much easier.
Hey.
One thing that is a pain, all right? And I'm sorry, George, big fella, but the old button here, it has to be hooked up to my car to get power, but sometimes it won't prime up. So that's the jet system that washes down all the trailer underneath here with all the jets. Sometimes it won't prime up. So it sucks out of this sump here. It comes up this aluminium thing, and then it goes into this hose, which now I'm thinking that maybe this hose is too thick. So I might have to try a smaller hose. My old man put a non-return valve in and it was working well for a while, but it just seems to go back down and finds it hard to pull the water out and prime up, alrighty? When it's working, it is awesome, but I've got to blow air into the tank sometimes, then it'll work for a few trips, then it just seems to like not prime up, and I can only put it down to that big hose now. And then I've got this one here which shuts that off, turn that, and that then allows me to use my hose. Oh, I just fully sliced my finger on that clamp. Oh, that's a bit deep too. Ugh. Anywho, I love that I can plug my hose into that. I've got 110 litres of fresh water in this trailer, and I can rinse off my suspension probably 4 times, and then I can hose the whole outside of my boat for about 10 minutes. Like, I can pretty much clean my boat and trailer at the boat ramp, and that's especially handy if you're on a reef trip and you got salt on it for 2 days or whatever, you know. As long as I can keep that primed and figure out that, this trailer's just friggin' awesome. I haven't been up to Fraser yet to, oh Jesus, Haven't been up to Fraser yet to use my little drop down fifth wheel, but that's going to work really well. It's just on a little turntable like that, and you just pull two of these out, and it's very easy to use. Every now and then I put it down and I just put it on it just so nothing seizes up or anything like that. I'm gonna have to go and get a bloody Band-Aid. All right, the squid lights, the inset squid lights are awesome. But they still all work after 10 months, no problems at all with the salt water. If I had the car here, I'd show you, but I just hit this button just here, and I've got full blue lights at the back. So anybody who's shining their high beams on me and don't turn them off and reverse them, I just flick those on and it shines back at them. So these here, the rock guards, I'm so stoked that the boys put them on. That was done by Hinchinbrook Trimming, did a friggin' awesome job. I've actually had a few fellas want me to send them photos how they're all set out and done, but you look how well George and Stubby have got these things up to my boat. It's like mill perfect, eh? So they've been awesome. I've got the extension drawbar, which I haven't got to use just yet, but I will. I've got 265 75/16 wheels. They're a Goodyear Wrangler. They've been amazing so far. They look like the day I bought them, and they have done a few long trips. They were from Steve-O and the boys up at Ingham Tyres Service. If you ever go up there, go give Steve-O a bit of curry. Tell him you're a Sea Eagles supporter. He'll love you. You can see, except for a bit of dust from the warehouse, they are in mint condition and they go in the salt water a lot. So I love the Kings. I'm bleeding out. All right, so there you go. 10 months, the trailer is like the day I bought it. The Nyalec that George sprayed it with has been really, really good. It just looks no different, to be honest. Like it's handled really well. You can see the inset squid lights there. I feel like reversing the car up, but it's very noisy outside and I've got that bloody shed door closed. But my boat trailer is probably my favourite thing about the boat. I love it as much as the boat, to be honest. And anyone who knows boating and you're going to keep the same boat for years, you need to have a good boat trailer. And there ain't many boat trailers out there like George and Stubby. So if you're looking for a next level trailer or boat, call up the big banger, because he bangs down the dimes. And say g'day, Samurai Plate Boats, NQ mono hulls up there in Ingham. You won't be sorry, I promise you. Hoi! Hoi! All right, now just quickly, the outside of the boat, the wrap is still like the day I bought it. This was already on it. I love the wrap. I always get heaps of cool comments about the wrap. Brad, you did a friggin' awesome job. And there's even a little hidden shark there you can see behind me. See him just here? So there's a little hidden shark in there, but sometimes I can't tell if it's clean or dirty. But I believe the wrap was done by Aragon Wraps, and I don't know where they are, but I'll put the details here. But yeah, the wrap, yeah, it's good. And we bang sinkers into it, you just can't see. Who would have thought blue fish scales with a grey design would look awesome. All right, actually, you know what? To be honest with you, I can't decide between the suspension seats and this esky built by Sean and Cooper at King Tide Marine and Fiberglass. I believe they've done a few more of these eskies now, which is awesome, but I've got these latches here from Sam Allen Wholesale. The first one's stuffed up. They were really good about it. They sent me some brand new design ones, and these ones have been good so far. Not just an esky. I guess you've got to decide, because one of these is not cheap. I don't know how much they would charge, but you can call King Tide Marine and Fiberglass, but you're not just getting an esky with a seat cover built by Goodline Trimming. Eh? Look at that. But anyway, you've got 3 seats here. You've got a 70-litre top esky or a storage compartment, which I put all my lures, which is a bit decimated now. We're about to head away, but it's 70-litre full gel-coated top esky compartment, and I can just undo that and I can take it in the tinny or wherever I go. It's also interchangeable, so I can swap it from there over to here and put the seat there, and then I can fish out the back and then I can swap it back over. I've also got a 450-litre esky underneath, 50 mil insulated, as you can see here. And then also there, I've got a 70-litre bait area, which I can just whack all my bait in, and then it slides back like this. It's got locks there that lock into the side, and then it keeps my bait separate from the fish. I've filled this esky twice now, which is awesome because it's not easy to fill a 450-litre bloody esky. But yeah, like I said, you just get a hell of a lot more than just an esky. So also, all your cooking and all sorts of stuff, it's all done there. You got your 4 beer holders for each person. And then I also use this, you know, all the guys that fish on a reef trip when we go, they all chuck all their stuff in there so it's not all over the ground, their tackle. So yeah. Again, one of the best upgrades I've done on this boat, 100%. Another thing I talked to Brad about, which I thought was a weird idea, was the scuppers and how they work, because you can't really seal them. And that's on the outside of the transom. They look nice and neat, but you couldn't really seal them. So 12 months ago, I made these just out of a little bit of like Everfoam or hardened foam. It was really easy to make. And 12 months later, I've still got the same set. So all I do is reach over the back and that just goes straight in there and seals it 100%. Pull it out and you're ready to go. Not an ounce of water gets through there. So to be honest, the scuppers have been 100% fine and I whinged about nothing. All right, I can't say too much more about the boat, to be honest. I've gone through pretty much absolutely everything. If I've missed anything, I'm sorry. I'm just sort of thinking on the run here. But I've had it for 14 months. Overall, it's still like the day I bought it. The ride is 9 out of 10, I reckon. I'm trying to pick if I can say anything negative about the ride and the boat on how it rides, but it's like I can't. I'm trying to pick something wrong, but with the ride, it's really good for a 6.8 meter plate boat. You can't fault it. It's quiet. It smashes through the waves. I think in 14 months, I've probably been jarred like 3 times. So it's good. So this is, like I said, a Han Marine built boat. It's an MMD design from an Australian architect named Andrew McDonald Smith. There's only one other MMD boat out there the same as this, and it has twin motors. Otherwise, they're the only 2 boats out there like it, alrighty? And this is an honest review, because if I didn't like it, I wouldn't have it anymore. It would have been gone a long time ago. I'm out in the boat too much to have a boat that I feel unsafe in. So I'm really, really loving this thing so far. Now the big question, is it too big? Well, is it too big for what, I guess? You know, like our other boat, the 5.8 meter center console, was a really, really perfect all-round boat. There wasn't anything I couldn't do in that. I could go out in 20 knots and I knew I was gonna get home safely. I could go prawning, I could go squidding, I could go chasing yellowfin tuna, I could go chasing marlin, I could take the kids out for a swim at the beach. You know, you can do everything in that boat, but like I said to Dave, my mate who bought it, some things are done more difficult than others, like if you're gonna sleep in it, you know, if you're doing 2 overnighters, if it rains, the cold wind in the mornings of winter, you've got to rough it a bit more in that boat, but then you have the luxury of having one boat that can do everything. This is comfortable, it's easy, it's comfortable to sleep in, way more expensive on fuel, it takes way longer to clean. I can't go prawning out of this, I can't go crabbing out of this. Well, I could, but like who wants to do that out of a big boat like this? We had to buy a tinny. So now we've got 2 boats, I got 2 regos, I got 2 insurances. That's the down part of it. So I take this on my big trips, I take the tinny on the small trips, and that's what I've had to do. So is it too big? Yes, it is too big for that small stuff. It's still only 6.8, like I've said, which is on the smaller end of the big custom plate boats, but it punches well above its weight. I highly recommend the MMDs, 6.8. There's also like an 8.5 that they're doing now, and Brad sent me the drawings of that and I was like, oh my God, it would be a weapon. So if you want details for Brad and want to chat to him about an 8.5, I'll give them to you. Alrighty, leave it in the comments. Leave some comments about the boat, any questions. I get back to pretty much everybody. If there's anything I haven't answered, let me know. Like and please subscribe to the channel. We're smashing out videos every single week. We have been for a long time, and if you guys would like to subscribe, that'd be awesome. If not, keep doing what you're doing. I hope you liked the 12-month boat review. I was as honest as I could, guys, and that's it. 6.8 MMD Han-built custom plate boat. I want to say a massive thank you to our legendary patrons. You guys are unbelievable. And I want to say a big thank you to the legendary companies who sponsor Outerline and keep it ticking along. See you next week.